Central to the way that companies produce things is the way that they manage their supply chains, the collection and distribution of all the inputs to the production process. Much of the improvement in supply chain management in recent years has come about through improved information systems that enable managers to know more accurately exactly what is where and when. In many cases, improving the efficiency of supply chains also involves changing a company's relationships with its suppliers.
Not all suppliers or subcontractors are prepared to bear the extra cost involved in holding stock on their customers' behalf. Those that want a greater commitment from those customers, which has led companies to become much closer to their suppliers, sometimes establishing a formal alliance with them, and sometimes taking an equity stake in their business. Such a relationship also means having a tighter control over suppliers. This can be done via a supplier audit, so that remedial steps can be taken to ensure tighter control over production. Extract from a lecture by Leonardo, who has recently completed a major survey of purchasing procedures in successful organizations. So, what are the elements in the purchasing process? Well, once the need for the product is firmly established, the procurement department must draw up specifications to make sure the supplier knows exactly what is required for goods to be fit for purpose. Then they have to identify suppliers who can provide the specified products on time and within budget. The procurement department will often have a list of approved suppliers the organization has done business with in the past. In some cases, they may use trade directories, online databases, and other means to research potential suppliers. They also need to carry out a value analysis of each item procured to ensure that there is not a more cost-effective substitute. After the initial order is fulfilled, the relationship with the new supplier must be managed, especially if the organization is likely to make substantial repeat purchases over a considerable period of time.
Senior managers have a responsibility to identify business processes that are not part of their organization's core competencies. These include not only payroll management, cleaning, or security but also more complex processes, such as helpline provision or product assembly. These can also include outsourced processes delivered on the organization's own premises, for example, catering, and processes carried out at the supplier's premises. Members of the senior management team need to be able to identify core and non-core business processes and assess the potential benefits, costs, risks, and any legal and ethical implications of outsourcing these processes. Create a clear specification of requirements. Shortlist potential vendors using a rating system and then select the one that best meets the criteria. Negotiate and agree on a legally binding contract that specifies the volume and level of service to be provided, payment terms, and how performance will be monitored. Monitor performance in line with the contract and review the outsourcing arrangement at agreed points.
Subcontractor. A person or company that does part of the work given by another person or company. Stake. Money that somebody invests in a company. Audit. An official examination of the quality or standard of something. Stock. The goods that a business has for sale. Supply chain. The whole series of processes, companies, places, etc., that are involved in making and selling a product.
Alliance. An agreement between countries, companies, etc., to work together in order to achieve something they all want. Avqt. The money for business activities that a company obtains by selling shares rather than from loans. Remedial step. A stage involving correcting or improving something that has been done wrong. Supplier. A company that provides raw materials or pieces of equipment to companies that make goods.
Core competence. An important ability or strength that a company has that makes it successful and gives it an advantage over its competitors. Helpline. A telephone service that provides advice and information about particular problems. Outsourcing. The process of arranging for someone outside a company to produce goods or services for that company. Specification. An act of giving detailed information about what somebody wants or expects from something. Procurement. The process of obtaining supplies of equipment or raw materials for an organization. Trade directory. A list of names and addresses of businesses in an alphabetical order. Value analysis. A way of trying to reduce the cost of a product while keeping the same quality. Substitute. A thing or person that you use or have instead of the one you normally use or have. The procurement department. Purchasing department. Is responsible for sourcing and purchasing goods and services needed for the organization's processes and operations. Value analysis involves investigating the cost, quality, and likely useful life of an item to make sure it will give the organization the best value for money after purchase. Trade directory is an extensive published list of companies who supply different types of products and services to other organizations. Approved suppliers are companies who have fulfilled certain conditions so that they are allowed to offer goods and services to an organization on a regular basis.